guys, and welcome back to lesson 1.3 in concepts of region. Today we're going to be focusing on our sketch map, so let's get started. I'm going to get you to jump over as far as page number 5, and page number 5 will look like this. We're going to be focusing on this 2014 question, and this actually only appeared once. So if we're not going to use it here in a part A, we're going to actually recycle this in our essay styles questions for 2 marks. So it's not going to go unused. So let's get started with the question itself. The question obviously is a regional geography question, which is questions number 4, 5 and 6 on my Leave Cert exam. It's a part A, which means to me it's worth 20 marks. Now 20 marks to me straight away is 5 to a maximum 7 minutes of my time. I cannot go over that 7-minute marker, guys. Make sure that is noted down for yourself. What this question asks is, it says, draw an outline map of Ireland. Now first of all, let's highlight the word outline map. Obviously, we want to draw Ireland, okay? Now, the outline map of Ireland is going to be worth 0 marks, 2 marks, or 4 marks, depending on the accuracy that we draw it. So if it's perfect or thereabouts, we're going to get them 4 marks. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but if it's very good. If it's, I can tell it's Ireland, but it's not great, it's 2. And if it's totally off, it's 0, okay? If I can't tell what country it is 0. Now, a couple of things here to remember to try to get the accurate outline of the map of Ireland is you have a map of Ireland with you in your exam. Where is it? It's on the back of your key or your legend. It's only small. It can't be traced, but you can look at it. Alternatively, sometimes in your short questions or part A's, you'll actually see a map of Ireland there, so you can use that as a guide. Now, the second thing I'm going to say here is anyone I always find who's getting kind of 4 marks as such, they're not drawing a little tiny little one map of Ireland on the page. That should be more than half an A4 page. It should be of a decent size to be getting that 4 marks to show and name everything accurately. So please keep that in mind. Now we're asked here to show and name. I'm going to highlight the word show, I'm going to highlight the word name, different examples of each of the following. There's always 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. For showing each of these, I'm going to get 0 marks, 1 mark, or 2 marks. Again, graded similar to what we see above, depending on the accuracy of where it is positioned. Now, I only can get marks for showing if it's named, okay? So if I don't name it, I'm not getting the showing marks there. So again, if it's perfectly positioned, and obviously that would be dictated by the map, I'll get 2 marks. If it's fairly good, I'll get 1. And if it's not good, 0. Showing and name. Name is 0 marks or 2 marks. Once it's named, I get my 2 marks. But let me tell you this, it has to actually be shown. Now, even if the shown is inaccurate, totally inaccurate. So for instance, let me draw like a very poor map of Ireland here. I won't spend too long on this. I'm going totally wrong up the north, but anyways, let's say I just draw down that little map there and I say to you, okay, I'm going to mark this in, I'm going to mark something in here and basically name it. Once it's marked in, I'll get the marks. So for instance, I'll show you now in a second what's my first one here. It says the outline of a named geomorphological region. Highlight the word geomorphological. Now, what's my named geomorphological region in Ireland? Well, obviously there's more than one there, but the most famous one and the one that we're going to be writing about quite consistently is the Burren. The Burren in County Clare. Now, currently the Burren in County Clare is getting absolutely no marks here, okay? But what about if I go up here, and this is incorrect, by the way. Let's say I say the Burren in County Clare is there. It is not there, okay? But I have it showed, and let's say I just label it over here, and I just say that's the Burren. Technically, you can write on these sketch maps in County Clare. Well, once it's shown, I get that tick and 2 marks for naming it. If it's not shown, I can't get the marks for naming, but if it is shown, even if it's wrong, I get my naming marks there. Okay, guys, that's going to give me a tick and 2 marks. I'm going to mark them off as if I've shown them. The second one here is a named urban centre. I'm going to highlight the word urban. Urban centre in a peripheral region. Now, peripheral regions, remember, are your underdeveloped regions. They're the regions that tend to be seen as less affluent, okay? So in this case here, obviously, they're not looking for the peripheral region, but I'm just going to make a little note here. The peripheral region we're going to be studying in Ireland is the western region. They're not looking for that, okay? But I just want you to make a little note of that for yourself. But what's the urban centre? What's the town? What's the city? Well, we're going to go for the most famous one in the western region. The western region has 3 counties: Galway, Mayo, and Roscommon. Here, this is going to be Galway City, not Galway, Galway City. Get it nice and accurate. Once that's shown, I'm going to get a tick and 2 marks for any minute. Imagine 4 marks just for that, 1% of your written paper. Next, the outline of a named cultural region. Highlight the word cultural region or culture. My cultural region, well, there's many of them in Ireland, but we're going to go for one that's nice and simple and easy to mark in. We're going to go for the Kerry Gaeltacht. Again, a region that's defined by its language there, obviously the Irish language. And again, I named that, I showed in, and I get a tick and 2 marks. I'm up as far as 6 marks, and I mightn't have drawn anything correctly on that map, or I might even drawn the map correctly at all. Last one here is the outline named core region. Now, what is my core region here? My core region is the GDA. Now, I'm going to be saying Greater Dublin Area on the map, obviously in full, okay? But here I will get a tick and 2 marks. It does have to be Greater Dublin Area. Now, I write them words down, I mark them in. Maybe my map is totally wrong, but I mark them in. And what I have straight away there is I have 8 marks out of 20. Now, guys, that's not bad. And the students who avoid this question because they're like, I can't draw the map, I can't draw the map. Guys, if you can get any sort of a map down and just write down the words, you're getting 8 marks out of 20. It surprised me every single year when I correct how many students, they'll go and they'll draw the outline of the map. So they'll draw maybe something that looks like that, and then they'll just leave it, they'll give up. I'm like, you could have just, like, you all know Galway City. Why not just mark it in, even if you think Galway City is over here, but even if you think Galway City is up there in Northern Ireland, mark it in, because then you get your naming marks. Be smart about it, guys. Now, this has only come up in 2014, and again, we're going to recycle it. There is 2 other points I want to place in on this. I want you to mark this in on page number 5 as well for yourself. This is 2 things that hasn't been asked by your examiner, but obviously could be asked, okay? So, if you notice in the previous question, they said, a named urban centre in a peripheral region. But what about if they went the other way around now and they said they wanted an urban centre, but they wanted it now this time in a core region? Okay, so they flipped it on its head. Well, if they wanted it in a core region, obviously we've named our core region, the Greater Dublin Area. Well, that would be Dublin City. Now, do not place this in unless asked, but I want you to be prepared for all here. The second thing they could ask, if you notice back on the previous board, they said they wanted the outline of a core region. But what about it again if they flipped that on its head and they said the outline of a peripheral region? Again, I'm just abbreviating here. We've already named our peripheral region. We said that that's the western region. Galway, Mayo and Roscommon. Now, obviously, unless these are asked, these are not placed in, but we're trying to prep ourselves for all. We're going to start off with what we have over on this board. I'll pause, I'll come back to the question, and then we'll add in the extra bits just in case. I want you to jump across the page over as far as page number 6 now. So let's get started on page number 6 now. I may have to slightly abbreviate / go off the page here, so if I do, I apologise. We're not going to work in the order that the examiner has given this to me. Instead, I'm actually going to work kind of from the middle and work my way out here, which might seem a little bit random. I'm going to start off with my cultural region. My cultural region is going to be the Gaeltacht. Now, I want you to come down here to the south of Ireland, down here, and here we're going to see this jut out. I want you to have it here. This area here is going to be my Gaeltacht region. Now, obviously, my pin here mightn't be absolutely perfect, but we're just going to mark this area in. That there is the Curry Gaeltacht. The second one we're going to go for is we're going to have a look for the Burren in County Clare. Now, the Burren in County Clare, if we come here, we're going to, just along here, cut this straight off. Kind of going a triangular shape here. This here, this area here, predominantly Clare, is the Burren in County Clare. That is our geomorphological region. And it's perfectly fine to write on a sketch map, not on an ordnance survey map. Question we frequently get. Okay, so that's 2 of them done. So again, I'll be getting a tick and 2. We'll come towards that at the end. Next on my list, I have the outline of a named core region. Now, I'm just going to place a little dot here because my core region is the Greater Dublin Area. Let's look at where Dublin is. Dublin is just there. Okay, see that little green dot I'm placing on the board? Just there. Now, the Greater Dublin Area includes 4 counties: Dublin, Kildare, Wicklow and Meath. So we want to basically just mark off about here and approximately here. So I'm going to go out, down, round and in towards the coast. That area there is the Greater Dublin Area. And always give it in full. Again, we don't know what to expect in a marking scheme. A lot of students have a tendency to write it short, GDA, that's fine once you've explained that to your examiner. The last thing here we have to place in for this 2014 question is we have to place in the named urban centre in a peripheral region. Now my named urban centre in my peripheral region, if we go to the Burning County Clare, we look straight across the water, right here. Make it a decent dot. Also, you'll find that when you're in Galway City, you're looking out towards the sea. That there is Galway City. Now that's my map, the outline completed. So in this case, obviously this is the outline was completed for us. Our outline will be getting that tick and 4 marks. It doesn't need to be obviously as accurate as we see here. For naming and location, so my examiner will look at this, they'll say name, tick and 2 because it's marked in. Name, tick and 2 because it's marked in. Name, tick and 2 because it's marked in. And apologies, I'm limited on colours there. Name, tick and 2 because it's marked in. Once they're named and marked in, my examiner will be giving me them ticks and 2 marks. And then they'll turn around and they'll say to themselves, okay, am I giving them 1 mark for their location or 2? Well, oftentimes you'll find students place Galway City in a little bit further inland, not touching the coast. That would have automatically got me a tick and 1. However, it's perfectly positioned looking down in the Burning County Clare, a tick and 2 marks. Here, the Burning County Clare, perfectly positioned, so a tick and 2 marks. Curry Gaeltacht, perfectly positioned, tick and 2 marks. And the GDA, perfectly positioned, tick and 2 marks. Now that will bring me up as far as 20 marks out of 20 marks. It is quite rare for students getting 20 out of 20, but you do see a very good student getting 18 out of 20, and it's the only part A that you'll find you can actually prep for. So we're seeing here on our map that we have everything positioned in for that 2014 question to get that 20 out of 20. Now, as we said there, that is only allocated 5 to 7 minutes of our time, so be very careful with that. Do not spend any longer. And again, as I said, make sure it's over half an A4 page, maybe get that little mark in, more than half an A4 page, and that you have everything clearly marked. Don't just leave something out because you're unsure. Put it down. Your examiner is either going to give you marks or they're not, okay? Because you don't have marks to begin with, so let's gather marks if we possibly can. Now, let's place in, and obviously we wouldn't do this in 2014, but let's position in the last 2 things my examiner could edit this question to look like. So let's pop them in our board. So, first of all, we're going to get Dublin City in here. Dublin City, see this little inlet here? I'm going to place it down in kind of a purpley lilac colour. Remember, Dublin City is right along the coastline, so it needs to touch the coast. Is this area here. So my little lilac dot. I'm going to just put an arrow here because I'm limited on space and mark it in as Dublin City. Again, you will be keeping your writing in particular a slight bit neater than mine. Next, we're going to fill in our peripheral region. And my peripheral region in this case here is going to be the peripheral region is going to be the Western region. So obviously the Western region includes Galway, which is here, Mayo, which is here, and Roscommon, which is approximately here. So we're going to go to Galway. We're going to come down, up and around Roscommon, make kind of a swift turn in to cut off Sligo, and approximately here. So this here is my peripheral region, my underdeveloped region, the Western region. And again, we need to know these for later on, when we have to draw a sketch map. That there is our potential sketch map complete for the 2014, as well as any potential questions on sketch maps in concepts of a region.